Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 106 of my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, where we are currently doing Living World Season 1, and today we are going to focus on the Aetherblade Retreat mission, where we have been exploring the Sky Pirates episode and have uncovered the person who is responsible for the small attack on Alliance Arch that resulted in the death of Theo Ashford. Let's go ahead and head towards the Aetherblade Retreat, which we have found is a location over here near where the ogre, I believe, was found dead. So our story mission for this is located right here at the bottom of this really cool waterfall, and we can get this really cool looking loading screen art of my Trin as we load into here with some other Sky Pirates, and we see airships in the background, or one airship specifically. And as we load in here, we have Lion Guard Inspector Holy and a Lion Guard, and then we have the entrance right here where there's like some sort of like force field type of thing, which is very interesting. Let's go ahead and reinforce our armor, and then let's meet up with Keel, who is located further in, where we have this water entrance here, and there are some mines that we need to be careful of. So let's navigate around this place and just try not to swim into any of them. Pretty easy to do, where there might be more traps waiting ahead of us as we come up out of the water here. And we have the inspector here.
Let's get going.
And we need to take out the door guards, where we have a few guards right here, and it looks like we have a door. And this is a really cool mission just because it looks absolutely beautiful in here, and there are a couple places that I just love a lot. So I'm really excited to dive deep into this mission, where there are quite a few achievements for us to work on. So we'll probably progress through a bunch of interesting areas and then maybe even backtrack a little bit. We do have a lot to progress until we start getting a lot of achievements towards the end of this mission. But first, we have another little trap here, so we need to progress through here without getting hit by this electricity, which is going to like basically down us and send us back to the start. Let's run to this next part here, into here, and then, ooh, that was a little close. And we could get further than we are on each one right now if we wanted, but I feel like it's safer to just go one by one. Let's go ahead and kill this inquest. As you can see, there are a ton of inquests, and then let's go ahead and deactivate the traps so that our friends can get through, and then if you happen to fall, we can get back a little bit easier. We have a hologram dancing right here. You can see some inquest beds around it, which is a little interesting, but up here is an inquest extinguisher once again. Let's go ahead and clear through here, where I really love like all the little like ramps and like just pieces of wood that kind of look like they're from ships and whatnot. And a little building right there. And then up here, I'm going to do something a little special, where I have a very faint memory of this room, but it might only be in the Fractals of the Mist version of this dungeon. So let's go ahead and clear through here, which, yeah, it looks like it's only in Fractals of the Mist. And let's go ahead and run over here down to this teleporter, where we need to survive the cannon barrage and clear out Aetherblades as we battle through the Aetherblade barracks. So let's go ahead and kill this group right here. And then there are a couple of Aetherblade thumpers up at those cannons, so they're probably going to shoot us. One of our achievements is to kill a bunch of Aetherblades, so we can go ahead and just try to make sure we kill enough at least to get that achievement, but we'll probably kill more by the time we're through this mission, because there are a bunch of Aetherblades in their main base. You know, that makes sense. Just a lot of barrages right here. Looks like they have to reload, and then another group of Aetherblades comes down as they do that, so let's clear them out. We got a couple of Lion Guard assisting us now. Looks like we had two more Aetherblades spawn, this time with the barrage beginning, so we have to deal with all of them. And now this door is open, and we have a bunch of Aetherblades that are just swarming through here. So let's go ahead and kill these four, and then there's this thumper here, where we have killed 25 Aetherblades now. This one is very tough, but she does have a protective shield, and she is healing herself. So that makes a fair amount of sense. It looks like the other thumper is also decently powerful, but we just killed him. And then we can finish this one off once her shield goes down. There we go. Now we can talk to Keel to confront Frizz, where we can see some inquest in here with a very powerful inquest called Frizz. And this is our first boss fight in this mission.
Let's see what this does.
And we have an achievement here where we need to beat this encounter without being hit by lasers. So let's go ahead and really try to focus on not getting hit by any lasers.
But your spleen is better unperforated.
This is a sterile research environment. Leave at once.
So here's Frizz.
Very well. I have ways of dealing with contaminants.
Who I think this chat say let's finish this and then let's get up here just to be off the ground just in case. But it looks like there's no lasers here. So let's go ahead and try to kill these two inquests and the Aetherblade. Deal as much damage as we can to Frizz. Where there he goes, 75% health as he teleports to the center there. And then let's attack this assassin again. Where here comes the lasers, so we can see. Oh, we just annihilated that inquest with the laser. That other inquest died. We have this Aetherblade golem here. So let's go ahead and run around with the laser. Let's come up here really quickly because there's going to be a new laser that spawns. And now we really need to run with it, where we need to be conscious of our positioning, where we want to probably be a little bit closer towards the center of the room, because if we do that, then we don't have to run quite as far in order to avoid the laser. Where? Let's say the blade golem. Okay, my flesh golem is going to kill him. Let's get back up here. And now we can see that there are two sets of lasers. So the big ones that we have to navigate around. Let's get up here to avoid the small one that's coming. And then we have three golems we have to defeat. Which, there we go, we just defeated all three of them, so that was actually decently easy for us.
You've won nothing! Tremble and cry as I unleash my greatest.
And then he just got annihilated and crushed by his own machine.
I hate those grubby little inquests.
Where we can now go ahead and explore further, where we just got 2 achievements, which is pretty fun, where we got 15 achievement points for that one special one, and then leave Frizz crushed in his lab. We defeated this boss, and now we have a lot of achievements coming up, including a couple of collections that we need to keep our eyes out for, where we have 3 notes that we can go ahead and look for, and then 5 special chests. Let's go ahead and come through here, which looks very cool as we come into like a cave. And then we got some inquests in here, and then we have a chest, which might be the chest that we need. I'm not 100% sure. Let's go ahead and kill this inquest here. We got a flame turret that doesn't want to die. Let's go ahead, loot this, and we just discovered chest 2. So chest 1, let's go ahead and try to find this. It might be up in this room where there is indeed a chest here that we can go ahead and grab. So there's our first and second chest now. And then I'm kind of going all over the place, but let's head back towards that chest that is over here, because there is a note that somebody probably saw and was screaming at me. Let's go ahead and look for it right here, where we have lab notes. These pirates are uncultured and filthy. These are not the working conditions to achieve technological advancement. Our friends know nothing of the subtleties and elegance of synergetics. Not only are our research specimens delicate and to be handled with the most gentle touch, but my lab equipment must be treated with the utmost respect. The pirates do neither. B is arranging a visit to my humble lab in the coming week. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her myself yet, but I want this place spotless by the time she arrives. The force field generator above the power control core has been malfunctioning. I should get that repaired before her arrival. That way I can give our guests a full demonstration of the lab's ability. So there we go, and let's go ahead and head out this way. where we are entering maybe my favorite area in this entire mission. Where first we have some Aetherblades, including a recruit who presumably just joined the Aetherblades, or there's 3 of them here, so we can go ahead and quickly deal with them. So they had a very short career.
Wait, is it over?
But we can go ahead and look at how incredible this is. This is honestly one of my favorite things in all of Guild Wars 2, is how this looks, where we are presumably on, like, looking out towards the Sea of Sorrows, and the waves here are just absolutely insane, where like the water is kind of just like storming in, and the winds are so strong where the water, or like the rain, is like coming in sideways and diagonally, and we can just see like these absolutely incredible looking structures with like all the boats and a lot of shipwrecked boats. And then we can just see how intense the waves are and how they are just carrying like all these scraps and like boats and whatnot with them. It just looks honestly incredible, and I love this so much. It's so cool looking. But we can see a little bit more as we progress through here. Alright, let's go ahead and walk through this door. And then over this way. We need to find a way to disable the lightning traps on the bridge, where we have this like rickety bridge here that we can go ahead and travel across, where there's lightning blasting. Let's get across and let's kill this group, where we have like kind of like a soft checkpoint here where we can relax without fear of getting hit by the lightning, but we do need to kill the group first, and then we can start looking ahead towards the next bridge. Let's get across this quickly. Wait for this lightning, and then I see this control panel right here. Let's jump over here really quickly. Let's try to disable this before any of the Aetherblades attack. And there we go. And let's just really quickly come back out here and just take a better look at how incredible the ocean looks. Just so cool. But into here, a bunch of Aetherblades. Same old, let's deal with them. Where I see a door right there, which might be where we're going to next. First we have to kill Taskmaster, who looks really cool. I do love the aesthetics of the Aetherblades so much. But into here we have a room with an Aetherblade chest, so this is our 3rd chest. And then I think there is a note somewhere around here that we can look for. It's right here, right next to the chest. So, Miss Trin, Hork is doing a good job at keeping the pirates from killing the Inquest, but Ivan is scared that we're one accident away from a full-on revolution. And trust Ivan, you don't want to clean that up. The Inquest are pretty bossy, and they talk often about our beef-witted malcontent. Ivan doesn't know what that is, but it doesn't sound especially nice. Maybe we should arrange an icebreaker event with our companions. I'm sure the Inquest will be singing a different song after trying Ivan's omnumberry pie. Ivan, so kind of a fun character here, who kind of seems to be like a dredge. Let's go ahead and run back this way, where we have another bridge here, and I believe that is everything we needed, where we have one more note that we can look at, and then 2 more chests, which are all forward. Another look at the ocean. So cool looking. And I love like the glow of like the lights through the windows there. Just phenomenal. But more Inquest for us to deal with. And it kind of seems like there's like some Inquest or certain like architecture with like these, I kind of like call them like ruins or whatever, that we tend to see like throughout the Tarnished Coast. But we have some right there, which is fun. Let's go ahead and continue forward, where we have something up there, and it looks like our main way forward is this way, where we have this very cool looking like piece of a certain technology right here with a bunch of Inquest. Let's go ahead and deal with all of them. Where a very interesting like combination that we see is we have the Char, who have like the Flame Legion, and then we see the Norn with like the Dredge, kind of, where the Sons of Svanir are kind of like the Norn counterpart, but the Dredge are like one of the big enemies specifically for the Norn, really, where they formed an alliance. And now we see pirates, who are like one of the big enemies for humans. There's also like bandits, but pirates are like very similar and also found in human lands. And then we see the Inquests for the Asuran have now formed an alliance. So we see like 4 really different like big factions who are like essentially counterparts and like major enemies for 4 of the different races that we can play as player characters. I just love taking in all the sites here. So much machinery, which looks very, very cool. Now we can find a way to open the door for Keo. So we can continue that way. And then let's go ahead and step on this. And it looks like it actually launches us upward here. So let's go ahead, get on here, and then get on to here. And then where do we want to go from here? Maybe right here. That was a little close. Let's see where we go next. Probably onto this pipe where I didn't get quite high enough. There we go. And then onto the next pipe, and we are all the way up here. Let's go ahead, open this door control, and then we can head that way, but we can also head this way where Keo is going to come up this way. So let's go ahead and backtrack here and try to help out by killing all of the Inquests and the Aetherblades in general. Where you can see maybe that's the main room we need to go to. Let's go ahead and backtrack a little bit further first. Kill the striker. So we can talk to Keo, but let's run back this way because I see the Aetherblade chest here, which we do need to grab. And then we can see like the main door that the Lion Guard ran through. So we can get that. We only have 1 more chest left, so we are on the right track. And I saw the very interesting area up there where maybe Keo ran that way. There's also this door here, which is maybe a side entrance to this area where we have Rogue's Landing, a point of interest that we already got. But Keo is up over here. Let's go ahead and have a chat with her as we can go ahead and confront my trend.
Scarlet's gonna have my skull.
What now, Captain? It'll take cannonballs to get out of here alive.
I'm dead either way. Might as well strap in for a decent fight.
You got it. I'll undock the airships.
I'll raise the gangplanks.
So 2 very powerful
This
pirates.
is what your curiosity gets you.
Let's go ahead and start fighting. Where we have an achievement where we can actually salute Horik, and we got Don't Be Rude to the Brute. But now we have a very fun mechanic here where Horik is going to launch cannons shots at us, where he has a very big cannon that he's just wielding because he's like a very large Norn and can do that. And then he's going to teleport away and he's going to unleash the cannons, or he's just going to do this. I thought he oh, I guess my trend teleports away, but we can go ahead and DPS where we need to avoid Horik's attacks, so let's not get hit by a single one of his attacks. So let's be very careful here, get through here, deal as much damage to Horik as we can. Then we need to survive the cannon barrage. So basically we just need to not get hit by anything, and we can evade through stuff as needed. And then my trend gets a shield when she's on the battlefield, which Horik launches the lightning attack from his cannon, which is going to strip that shield. And then he also launches the fire attack. And we want to avoid both, but we want to make sure that the lightning attack hits my Trin. So we want to be stacked on like my Trin when he decides to launch that. Alright, let's get close to my Trin here. And then he's going to launch the lightning, which is hopefully going to strip away her shield. There we go. And then we can go ahead and DPS my Trin down while we continue to avoid all of Horik's attacks. Right now we can go ahead and DPS Horik. Neither of them have too much health where we can just annihilate Horik like that. That was much easier than the first phase there. And now we just need to avoid the cannon assault for 22 more seconds. So let's be very careful here. Got some Inquest golems that are doing something. And it's a very cool aesthetic with this entire area. We can see like the sea raging below, and there are some airships, including one right there, which seems to be leaving. So it's going off somewhere. Hork is back down. Let's go ahead, stack on my Trin again. Hork's about to launch the lightning attack at us. So let's sit here and then get back, but be close enough so my Trin gets hit. And then we can go ahead and attack my Trin. And let's make sure we don't get hit by anything towards the end of this fight, because we do not want to lose our achievement. Let's go ahead and attack Hork, and we can probably just kill him like that. We're going to still Dragon Bash for like a few more hours when I'm recording this, which is funny. Let's go ahead and attack my Trin, where we don't have a cannon assault because we killed Hork.
You've won! Next time, just ask.
Lion Guard, take our intrepid airship captain into custody. Don't take your eyes off her.
On it, investigator.
I'm itching to blow that escaping airship out of the sky. Any ideas how to do that?
Let's go ahead and debrief with Kyo, where she says, "Thank you, Commander. I'll sleep a little easier tonight knowing that my Trin is in custody. To think the Aetherblades were hiding so close that entire time. I won't need to beat myself up. I'm headed to Divinity's Reach after I wrap this up to express my thanks to Delacroix and her assistant. I'm sure Magnus will want to celebrate with an ale. You're welcome to join us. Dead and Bar, I know the way." Where we have completed this story mission, the Aetherblade Retreat, where we got this reward here from Dragon Bash, but there are a couple of things left to do. Where let's go ahead and run across this way, and first let's go explore the ship down here, where there should be a note for us and also a chest, where I see the Aetherblade chest right up here, and then I believe the note is going to be below us. Let's go ahead, open this. We got asset recovery. And then down this way, let's explore here. And keep an eye out for any notes, where I see one right on the door here. Let's go ahead and read this scribbled note from Hork. "Captain, normally I'd bend your ear over a sea shanty and a keg, but with you being on Lion's Arch on assignment, I figured I'd put it to paper. I'll give it to you straight, Mai. I don't like the current arrangement. I yearn for a good scrap and a rousing adventure as much as the next pirate, but the new boss is an anchor that's pulling us down. Mark my words, we're getting tangled in a mess, and we won't notice till it chokes us out. Then there's the Inquest buggers. Can't argue with the upgrades to our airships and equipment, but they're not like us. Got no code. Goes without saying that I'll follow you to a cold and briny grave 1,000 times over, but I want it to be on our terms, doing what we love, our freedom above all else. No fat cat life for this first mate. You hear? First mate Hork." So a very, very cool letter there. And then there is one final thing left for us in this mission, where we can get a good look at the cliffside here and then back down towards the ocean. But let's go ahead and fire this cannon at that escaping airship. So it seems like it did not get far, and we completed Unfriendly Skies and got 15 whole achievement points for that, where you used to get a lot of achievement points from Living World Season 1. But that is everything for this mission. My Trin is in custody, and the Aetherblades have been defeated for now. Let's go ahead and leave this instance, and then we can head to the Dead End Bar. Case closed, the Dead End, where it has definitely been a successful mission for us. And it was definitely because of Marjorie and her friend, Casimir, where we have them here.
Look who fell off his velvet couch and landed all the way down here. Let me guess. You came to give me a bonus for that last job.
No, I came to thank you. I heard you caught the murderer.
Well, you heard wrong. No stool stands for long on a single leg.
What are you saying?
I'm saying, dear boy, that I had help. Let me introduce you to my associates.
Lots of friends for us, and we have completed Case Closed. And we have completed episode 2, Sky Pirates.
Here as Zachary does?
No. He's a broken toy that tumbled into the ruts. You're a flower, blooming despite the ruts.
Oh, good. Phew.
And we have so much that we can do. Here, I don't know where to begin. Let's begin with this letter from E. Detective Delacroix. I must thank you for delving into the depths of the latest underground crime ring to operate out of Divinity's reach. I'm sure the people of this fine city would thank you for your tireless efforts at making it a safer place to dwell. More importantly, Miss Aeria's family will be relieved to have their daughter's body returned to them and not rotting away in some crypt beneath the city. That poor girl's death should be mourned. I can only imagine what she endured in those final days. As always, thank you for trusting a faceless benefactor. I will write again should any more intel arrive at my door. Let's go ahead and chat with Marjorie, and where she's happy that we got my Trin because she was very slippery, and then she is looking for new clients. We got Casimir Mead here, and where we can say my Trin is not going to be a big issue for us, and that we worked well on this case together. And then we got Inspector Ellen Keel.
His second died a few weeks ago in that whole Molten Alliance uproar.
So there will have to be a council election.
That's right. And I want you to go for it.
What? I don't have that kind of wealth, and I'm not a ship's captain.
Then you'd better get creative. I put your name in, and I commandeered the abandoned Aetherblade airship for you.
I...
That's the kind of fast thinking that made me choose you.
So it looks like Ellen Keel might be trying to become a member of the Captain's Council, where we can ask about my Trin, and she's being held in the Lion's Arch and is in Lion Guard custody, where they'll interrogate her before going to trial. We also got Magnus here. You've done a yeoman's job capturing that snake Trin, thank you, where we are happy to help. And we can say that Ellen Keel definitely helped us out, and that she did a good job in South Sun as well. Then we got the bartender here. Welcome back, my friend, where we are one of the Dead End's returning patrons, as we've been here a second time, and Logan here, where he can give us his personal thanks, where he cared a lot about Captain Theo Ashford. Let's go ahead and get our reward here, where we got Marjorie's tool belt, another 20 slot bag, where we can go ahead and replace one of these leather bags here. And let's go ahead and put this one in right there, and we can get one more 20 slot bag to replace this 18 slot bag, and then maybe we might have to get some more bag slots. We'll see, but this looks good for us. And let's go ahead and leave this mission, where we got 4 pieces of mail. Second Aetherblade Site, where there is another Aetherblade Site in Gandharan Fields that we can go ahead and investigate. We got some more information about the Fractals of the Mist, another day, another debt from Marjorie Delacroix Investigations, where she just gives us our thanks. And she gave us 2 things about, one about Lion's Arch, one about Dragon's Bash. They seem basically the same, slightly different. Very interesting there. But we have completed this episode of Living World Season 1, where if we come into our story journal, we can see we can head to Clockwork Chaos next, but that's going to be for a future episode, where we can go ahead and look at some of the stuff we got going on here in Sky Pirates, where we still have quite a few achievements that we can work on. But one of the big things that we just got a letter for is that second Aetherblade Site, and it is located here in Gandharan Fields, and we can see the second Aetherblade Site point of interest, which I got a very long time ago, and I probably said this is a little bit of a spoiler, don't look at this, or something along those lines potentially. But we can also see these pipes right here, which is very interesting. So let's go towards this area. And I am very excited to do this jumping puzzle because it is considered one of the most difficult jumping puzzles in the entire game of Guild Wars 2. Not the most difficult, just one of the most difficult. And really, it's not that bad except for a bonus thing that we can do, where we have these launch pads again, and we need to try to get up here, where I'm already failing, so maybe this is a bad omen for us. And then we can get up over here, and we're going to have a different type of launch pad here that's going to launch us forward, just like that. And then we have another one to go up here. So let's climb. Oh, This is a really bad omen. Okay, up to here. And then we can see this rock wall is a little unusual. Maybe let's go ahead and walk through this hologram into this cave. We can drop down to here. And then there's another person in here actually, where this might be like a brand new player who has no idea what's coming ahead of them, where they seem pretty level. But let's go ahead, continue through here, avoid these traps, and then let's get up over to here. And then let's give ourselves some swiftness here, and then over towards this wall. And we just went straight through this hologram, and we can enter this main cave right here, which is where the bulk of the jumping puzzle is going to be. You can see this massive hologram rock wall. So this looks like a mountain from outside, but really it is a massive Aetherblade base, and we have a lot of stuff we got to deal with here. So let's go ahead and jump down here, and since we need to kill some Aetherblades for our achievements, we can go ahead and clear through here since they're definitely going to be a little easy for us. And I can see an Aetherblade cache down here that we can go ahead and grab alongside a few more Aetherblades for us to kill. Let's go ahead and try to deal with all of them. They're really, really easy. Let's grab this cache. See if this might be for an achievement. Not 100% sure. Where let's go ahead and check into here where it did not progress an achievement for us. But let's go ahead and continue through the jumping puzzle, where the next part is up here where we have these pipes that we can go ahead and jump on. And these are actually decently tricky jumps, and it seems like somebody else is in front of us who just killed some Aetherblades in there. And then we need to jump over that and then over to here where we can get to the front of the ship. And there is indeed another player who is downed, and it's also maybe a newer player takeovers too as well. So let's go ahead and help out really quickly here, where she did not attack the Aetherblades here. Let's go ahead and deal with them very quickly. I might have to take a second to give a little health. Let's kill the Taskmaster, and then let's revive. And let's continue this way, where I think if we come down here there might be another cache for us, where there is indeed a cache. And I remember a few of these in this jumping puzzle, and I think these ones are really just like bonus rewards. As I said earlier, I don't think there's an achievement. But let's go ahead and come out onto the other side of this airship, where we can go ahead and jump down here. And then we need to jump down to here, and then over to here, and just carefully progress forward through this entire area. Right, let's get up to here where an Aetherblade thug is, and I think this thug actually knocks you back. So let's just position ourselves in a careful way here, and then we need to continue in a certain direction, which I'm trying to remember. I think we might want... Do we want to jump there? Or do we want to jump up there? I think my memory is failing me right here. I think we have a very tricky jump where we can jump to here. I see an Aetherblade cache down there. But then up to here and up to here. Here we go. And then let's see how far we go up into the sky here. Where it looks like we might want to go onto there, except we kind of failed there. Let's get a good trajectory there, where maybe we actually want to be up on this level. Not 100% sure. This doesn't seem right. Let's try this again. It doesn't really launch us much higher. It's not like anywhere up there. I feel like it must be... There we go. Okay, I don't know what I was doing there. I was just choking. I think we want to get onto this pipe next. Very carefully. If we fall, we might die and have to restart this entire puzzle. Up to here. And then get onto the big pipe. And then we have a lot of steam here. Let's try to cross this without getting hit. But really, we're going to get hit just like that. Over to here, where this is a pretty simple jump up, I think. Right up to this area, where we now have some tricky looking jumps here. Right, let's get up to here. And then up to here onto the barrel. Or maybe over to here. I almost fell there, it felt like. And then let's be really careful here. Let's just wait a second. And then I think we want to like aim right there. Or if we aimed incorrectly, we might have just like completely fall and die. Those gears scared me, but I don't think they do anything. Let's climb onto here. And then I think in order to finish the jumping puzzle, we can just jump down to here. Where let's go ahead and do this first. There is more, but let's go ahead and try to get through here first. We're gonna deal with the taskmasters and the thugs and swashbucklers. Where we just cleared this area, it kind of looks like. Thought I saw the door open, but if you drop down to here, this is the end of the jumping puzzle, and we have completed Not So Secret and Plundering the Sky Pirates, locate the final treasure chest in the Aetherblade's secret base in Gandarian Fields. So we have successfully completed this jumping puzzle, but as I said, there is a little more, and I think we might have to redo the jumping puzzle. Let's try to climb up along this and climb up. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, how am I not dead? That's insane. But unfortunately, we do have to just like redo this jumping puzzle to get back up there. Where I'm going to give one attempt to the final area, which is a pair of diving goggles that we can go ahead and try to land. Let's get up to here and then back over to this area. I think there's like 4 other players in this jumping puzzle right now, which is kind of funny. We're gonna just go ahead and drop down to here and then jump back over this way, where it's really just the same thing, but we need to be careful of everything again. Where we have the slug who might knock us back, and we're kind of leading the way for the players behind us right now, though maybe not. This jump was really tricky when I was coming up through here. Where, oh no. Getting back up there is going to be impossible after I did such a good job the first time. We just killed 150 Aetherblades. We need to kill 250 to finish that achievement. I might have to go through the story on one of my other characters, of course. Where I just saw 2 players right there actually successfully completed the diving goggles, and they are very excited. Up to here. Oh, no. Oh no, I'm gonna be here all night. Oh, I just fell all the way down. I guess I could grab this Aetherblade cache really quickly. Let's go ahead and pick that up, and then make the journey back once again. At this point, maybe I won't have to go through the story on multiple characters just to kill enough Aetherblades. I can just sit here and farm all of them while I keep falling. Oh, I fell because I was in combat. Oh, no way. Let's get across this quickly before we get attacked. Where we just got attacked. Let's go ahead and give ourselves some swiftness, maybe. There we go. And then let's carefully jump there. And then can we just get past this part? Up to here. And then there's so many players up here. Let's get up to here. Where there's a Mesmer helping these 2 players out. I kind of messed that up, but I got scared. And let's continue up this way. Where we are here, which is, whoa, that like just blinded me. This is a pretty safe spot to be. Alright, let's get up to here. And then up to here. Got some tricky jumps once again. And then as we continue up to here, we are reaching the part of the puzzle and where it splits off again. So now, oh, wait, I forgot. It's actually up here. I almost fell again. And okay, just don't fall. Okay, now I'm getting like stressed out, which it means I'm probably gonna fall more often. But this is where the path splits off. Where let's continue up to here. get over to here where this is going to be difficult. Okay. We have this, and then it's going to take us that way. Let's aim for the wall. Okay, now up to here. If we can get high enough. It just doesn't feel like we can get high enough. Up to there. And then we have one up here. Okay, that feels like we can get high enough. To there. Next. Oh, what just happened? Okay. And then very carefully here. We have to get up to here, and then... Oh, jeez. How do we get up? Let's just pick up the diving goggles just in case. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, this is the stressful part. And where we have to make a blind jump into that water that we saw players. So, when standing in the center of the platform and facing the diving goggles, the proper dive location will be to the left of the goggles, right next to where the blue hollow wall begins. Do not make a running jump off the edge. If you simply hold forward off the edge naturally, you'll avoid the obstacles along the way. At the bottom of the pool of water, there's another Aetherblade cache. So I'll give this one attempt, and if I fail, I think I might just come and get this another time, and we'll say we experienced this in the video. So let's walk off very carefully. Let's dive back this way into the water. There we go. We got that diving goggle, which... If we double check in the Explorer tree, we have Dive Master, and this one was in Krita diving point number 8, and we can see it's checked off on my first attempt. It just took me a little bit of time to get back up there. And I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here. For our next episode, we can explore some interesting stuff before heading back into the story, where I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode, and I hope you all are taking great care of yourselves. Remember, as always, to drink some water and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time in the Road of Tyria. Goodbye.